Today is Thursday, the 30th of May, 2019. I've been making videos actually pretty consecutively. I think I made one yesterday and the day before, so this is my third or fourth video in a row, I'm not sure. I just wanted to talk about the business and how it's going. So something that I gotta get done, and I keep struggling to do it, is to register my building's FEIN number, because I need that to be able to change the name of my business. You see, when I first started this, the name of the business was called the Mosaic Owl, and it was just a made-up name that me and my girlfriend came up with. Like, we didn't really give too much thought to it. I like mosaic, the word, and she thought of the animal owl, so we put it together, and there you go. That was the magic of it, and we were both pretty happy. Like, she wasn't as sold as I was, but I actually enjoyed it, and I do think that name has a lot of potential. But this was all way before the idea of making my own watch company. So definitely what that was for something else, and it was going to be for flipping things online, right? It was just an LLC that would serve as some sort of financial protection in case of some lawsuit or something. But instead of refiling a whole other company, which costs $120 something, I'm gonna just change the name and of the fictitious name, as they call it, and that's gonna cost me $50. But I have to fill out a form that requires it requires me to put in an FEIN number, which I do not have at the moment, because every time I go register it, they say that the place closes at 6. It's a website, but they use business hours, so it's the weirdest thing. But it is what it is. So right now I'm on my way to work, right? So I could have done it during my lunchtime, but I don't know why. I just, like, when I go home, I can't do it, and when I'm at work, I can't do it either. I guess I'm just making up excuses. I gotta get it done, so I'm gonna try to get it done right now when I get to work. I've been really busy at work too, so I haven't really had a chance. I mean, you could always make a time for anything, but that's the excuse that I'm going with. So once I get that done, I'm at a crossroad between going to FIU and getting my boxes made there, or pitching the idea of getting my boxes made there, or purchasing them at Michael's. I've been researching the shadow boxes. In one of my last videos, I talked about that I haven't completely disregarded any possible solution that I've come up with. I'm still keeping them, considering them, all of them, even if they sound outlandish. So I'm still considering the shadow boxes, and I still have been researching them. The one that I've the solution that I've kind of put in the back burner is making my boxes custom made in Alibaba. I just don't think it'll have that special quality to them, or characteristic. So what I might end up doing is the shadow box idea, but before I thought they were super expensive, because I was looking at like the 8.5 by 11s, the 11 by 14s, but I'm thinking maybe I can pull off the 5 by 7. It'll be very small and kind of tight, but I'm sure that the more I look at it, I can figure it out. And those things are going anywhere from like $3 to $10. 3 being like when they're on super clearance or really bad quality, to like $10, which is like the average that I've seen online. So I just gotta go to Michael's, which I'm planning. You know what? F it. I'm going today. I gotta stop this maybe, this maybe thing. I'm going today. Gonna go, and I'm gonna go to Michael's. I gotta do 3 things today. Okay, I gotta go to Michael's, okay, and purchase that. Number 2 is that I gotta go to Home Depot, because I saw a video right now when I was home. Crap. I almost missed my exit there, because they've been changing all these streets around here. They're gonna add a new bus lane to the highway, which is pretty cool. It's gonna go from Dolphin Mall all the way to downtown, supposedly. But anyway, I was watching a video. I went home for lunch, and I'm watching a video that I found on how to polish 3D printed parts. Now remember, I'm always researching. That's the thing. Even if I'm not working, even if I'm at work, I'm listening to videos. I'm doing research behind the scenes. So it's almost 24 hours a day that I'm working, because even when I'm sleeping, I'm thinking, like right before I go to bed, I'm thinking, and sometimes that bleeds over to the dream world, which is pretty cool. So that's how this business is being created right now. So as I'm home, I'm eating lunch. I was in the bathroom actually, and I'm watching a video, and the video is showing you how to polish your pieces, but it was kind of similar to what you would expect it is, you know, based on other videos that I've seen. But this guy did something very interesting. First of all, he only used water, sandpaper, paint spot filler, and acrylic paint. That's it. And water. I don't know if I mentioned that. And he didn't have any tools, nothing, right? He got this 3D printed part, which looked great off the cuff, but it had the lines from the 3D printed parts, which SLA doesn't have. Thank God, right? Or it has, but super minimally. So what he did was that he grabbed the filler paint and he spray painted on, right? He gave it a couple coats, and it came out like almost perfect, like perfectly flat, but it still had some grooves on it from the 3D print bleeding over. And then he sanded it using 200, 400, and 800 grit, right? And he didn't do like an amazing job like sitting there sanding every possible surface. He just kind of like got rid of the uneven surfaces. And then once he finished that, and this was a wet sand, by the way. So once he finished that, it was the white piece, but it had a bunch of patches of gray from like that paint filler that he used, right? And I hadn't seen that, but that wasn't like the cherry on top. But I had never seen someone do it that way. I'm sure it's pretty standard, but people usually, I've never seen them use a paint filler. I usually just see them sand it and use a primer of some sort. But the cherry on top was that once it dried out, he grabbed acrylic paint and he painted it over it. But he gave it kind of like the last coat, he kind of made it like really heavy. And he said that would give it a glossy finish. And man, this thing looked like a car finish. It looked like the plastic on a car, like how, you know, the same material. It looked like a freaking car like a, I don't know, like a fender or something, or a bumper. And I was just like amazed by that. So he didn't sand it afterwards or anything. He just gave it an extra heavy coat, and it didn't run, and he let it dry for 24 hours. He says it's very important you do that, because even if you touch it when it's dry, it will leave your fingerprints on it. So guess what? I saw that. I'm gonna try it. It'll probably cost me like $20 to do. And the idea is that I'll make one just like that. I don't know that I'll do every watch like that, because I'm starting to really enjoy how the watches look like fresh off of the printer, just because I put so much time into trying to figure out the perfect settings on my printer that it's just, and like even the position, like everything, that's actually what's taken me the longest so far, is making these things like really perfect, okay, like straight off of the printer bed. And they're almost there, right? They're almost there. It's like I'm telling you, like I was telling my girlfriend, they come out like 7 out of 10. And you would think like 7 out of 10, that's not that good. No, it's not amazing. It's not perfect, obviously. But when I first started, they were coming 1 out of 10. Okay? And I've been able to push it all the way up to 7 out of 10, and I'm not even done with them, because I still have one more thing up my sleeve, and that's even before I do this whole sanding and painting method. So I believe I can get them to an 8 and to a 9 with this new method that not the new method. With the new method, they'll go to 10, obviously. But with what I've been doing, with the polishing that I'm doing, it's been coming out. I haven't seen a full product, and it takes a little while to do, but it's gonna be like, I'm telling you, like a 9 or a 10 out of 10. Okay, almost, if not perfect. Now, with the polishing, it's going to be a 10 out of 10. Now with the polishing, I'm getting stuff confused. With the spray painting and the acrylic paint, with that, it'll come out a 10. The only reason that I'm not 100% committed to that idea yet is because since this watch deals with a lot of fine pieces and like very small spaces, there's no doubt that spray paint is gonna, make it thicker, so parts might not fit in correctly, and that is why I'm not gonna 100% rely on it. But I still want to try it out, to at least have one made, and even if I never do that option, and it does take longer, of course, but if it's worth it, it's worth it. I'll do it. So we'll just see. As far as the watch design goes, like, I think it's perfect. The watch, in terms of completion, it's like at an 8.5 out of 10. 10 being a complete product, 8.5 being where it's at now. And the only reason it's not a 10 is because there's minor details that I gotta get fixed. Like, one of the minor details is on the back plate. I have my last name on it, but on the A, the R, and the O, since those letters have, those big parts to them, the A is like a triangle, the R has that little like D looking thing, and the O is the whole circle. Those things print out hollow and it looks ugly. So I'm trying to get like a laser cut effect, like an imprint effect onto the watch itself. But that's part of like figuring everything out. So that's really the only thing that that needs to be fixed. And then I'm sure there's other minor things that need to be done. There's nothing really big. Like, hold on. There's nothing really big that needs to be completed. So I believe that by the next couple of days, I'll have the watch completely finished, and I don't mean like the produced. I'm trying to park here, but I don't mean that it's gonna be finished like in its box ready to go. I mean like the design of it is gonna be finished. I'm pretty sure by the next couple of days, at most maybe by next weekend. What else? And then after that, it's gonna be trying to get more designs out there, trying to get which I have a bunch of designs. Like, so the cool thing about this watch is that the way that I designed it, it's really easy to update the design, because what I really spent a lot of time on was the mechanism, right? How the watch goes together. And I always kept in mind like some sort of modular piece that can be swapped out and reprinted to create a different design, to make it look different. So in real life, the product is not going to be a modular watch, meaning you're not going to be able to pull pieces out of it. And even though that would be pretty cool, maybe I'll head in that direction. Like I said, I don't completely throw away any ideas that I have, but I kind of wanted these to be one solid piece. But maybe the idea is that you buy the watch and then you can swap these parts out. But I don't want to head there. I don't want to start it out this way. That might be a version in the future. And yeah, so the mechanism, once it's fully ready, fully functional, it's really easy for me to make changes to drastically change the look, but the mechanism will stay the same. And I think that's the magic of this process that I've been doing. And I'm not an inventor of any sort of this process. This is something that's done pretty much everywhere, but they're custom designs, but they're just designed in the way where the behind the scenes part is like a template, and then what everybody experiences looks different, right? Trying to think of something. I'm guessing it's like, I don't know. I don't want to give a dumb example, but so that's the watch. I've covered the boxes. I've covered the finish of the watch. I've covered the business like itself, like what's going on with the name and all that. And what else was there? I have a list of things that I had to get done. The bands, I guess I'll finish with the bands. The bands they're looking good, really. They look awesome, but the company that makes the gel bands, which I freaking love, the rubber ones, they cost me $100 for 50 of them. So I paid $2 per. And then when I asked them how much to make a custom logo, they tell me that it's $2,000, so I gotta order 1,000 of them, so they didn't even give me a discount. And then on top of that, there's a $900 fee to put my logo on it because they gotta make a mold. It's just crazy. It's insane. So it's not. I gotta keep looking for that. But that's in the worst case scenario. I'm not gonna put my logo on the bands. It's not the most important thing. Like from a perfectionist. Not that I'm a perfectionist most of the time, but I am sometimes. In this case, I am. So from this point of view, I do want them there. But I guess, if it means that I won't be able to put out the watch, then I won't do that. I'll skip that and I'll add the logos eventually. And for now, I'll just use blank parts, you know. But everything else is looking great. Yesterday I made a dial. I got 20 seconds here, but yesterday I made a dial, and the dials are coming out beautiful. You know, the hands, I ordered the hands are coming in. So this is gonna be so amazing. But that's all the time I have for now. My phone's full and I'm at work and I'm a little late, so I'm like 10 minutes late. But we'll talk soon.